Hello, it's Jess. I'm back today for another Q&A video. I got some very interesting questions regarding tattoo related things, so I figured we would just have a summery garden chat while I answer your questions. So I encourage you to get a drink and chill with me. Summer vibes, all that. Okay, goodness gracious, let's get started. I received a question saying, what are your favorite and least favorite tattoo trends? This is a very controversial question. I feel like if I bash any tattoo trends, I'm not going to make friends. So I'm gonna do it as light-heartedly as possible. Also, my opinion does not affect anybody else's tattoos, because at the end of the day, I believe that if you want a tattoo and it's personal to you and you want it, period, done, get it, it's yours. Nobody else's judgment has anything to do with your choice for tattoos. However, there are trends in the tattoo industry that, let's say a walk-in goes in and they're like, oh, I just randomly want to get this. Perhaps there is a slight bit room for judgment in these cases because it's usually the tattoo artist anyways that's designing the flash. What is your favorite tattoo trend? I'll start with that. I think my favorite tattoo trend would probably be the traditional style Japanese tattoos. I don't often get tattoos myself that are just trendy, but I've always kind of, in the back of my mind, dreamt of getting one of those traditional Japanese dragons somewhere like on my thigh, like on the side, or somewhere on my torso to go with the my torso piece that I already have. I just really love how traditional Japanese tattoos look, especially because they're just so ethereal and light. There's like a lot of color usage typically. I really like the red. I just really like that. It's also just a genre, so I guess you can't really call it a trend, but I love the dragon tattoos in general. My least favorite tattoo trend would probably be a tiny word that doesn't really mean anything. I know that I'm probably calling out a lot of people by saying this, again, controversy. But if you've ever seen those tattoos that are just really small and they say like wanderlust or perspective or something like, you know, I just think it's kind of funny just because it's a very random thing. Then again, I have just like a large sans serif name on my arm, so I'm not one to speak, you know. But I do think it's funny whenever I go on Pinterest, let's say, and I just see like random tiny words that, again, what does it mean? You know, like perspective, you know, okay. So, another question, do you plan to get more tattoos? I've thought a lot about this because I fell in love with each one of my tattoos immediately. I thought of it or I saw it in my head and I was like, I need this. Just like when you know you're in love, you just know, right? It's the same with tattoos. And I had that kind of clarity about each piece that I currently have. However, in the future, I mean, the main problem is placement for me. Like I've had many ideas, as I said, the dragon or, you know, extending pieces that I already have, shading pieces that I already have. But in the back of my mind, I'm just like, I'm 21 and I've already filled up so much. I honestly don't even know where I would get a piece next. It's kind of an issue if you got a lot of pieces at a very young age, because you're like, what if in 10 years I really want a tattoo? Where am I gonna do it? So I decided to slow down. I definitely think I'll get one or two in the future, but not anytime soon. Next tattoo project. It's actually kind of complicated because I have two ideas that have been lingering in my mind. It's just been like brewing in a pot. And one is a commission, and it is it is a lion and a dove, which I find to be a really beautiful concept. I personally don't know the meaning behind it for the client, but I think that a lion and a dove together, I have the composition all planned in my head and the way that it's gonna fit, the placement, all that. I really want to do lot work line work and dot work with it, a lot of stippled technique. So I really wanted to do that one. The other tattoo project is, I actually have in my room, I have these dried flowers that I've had for a really long time, like bouquet of white flowers with a red ribbon, and then another dead rose on top of it that I've had both of them for about a year. I like keeping flowers and drying them. So I just thought it would be such a pretty, oh my goodness, yeah. And then I saw a spider crawling down the white roses in between the ribbon and the rose and the intersection of the white flowers. And I thought it would be so cool as a tattoo with like an oval, kind of keeping it all into one shape, and then having the white roses and then the red rose, the ribbon, and then like a spider in the center. I would really want to do it in a neo-contemporary style, so we'll see if I manage to do that eventually, but I think that would be a really cool piece. Oh my goodness, this next one is really complicated. If you had to pick a theme for an arm or a leg sleeve and get it all at once, what would the theme be? Hypothetically, if I were to get a sleeve, I'd probably get it on my arm. Let's say in another universe where I don't already have tattoos on this one, because I think sleeves look so nice when they're asymmetrical, and I would do it from wrist and extend it to like upper shoulder. Again, I'm more petite and have small shoulders, so I never really wanted anything on my shoulders, but I think that it would be really nice to do a sleeve, and the theme would have to be something botanical and natural. As you can see, I love nature, I love the garden. I actually wake up every morning and I spend time in the garden. So I always thought, hypothetically, in another world, it would be really cool to have a sleeve that would be entirely botanical with all the flowers and extend like different styles of neo-traditional into contemporary, and have, what do you call it, like palm tree leaves, and then have others that are just flowers, like more traditional style flowers. But the most important thing is I would incorporate other elements such as like symbols somewhere, probably representing names, maybe in different languages, have some words that are significant to me, like middle names, like I did here. And I would definitely incorporate some animals, let's say like I've heard the idea of a foxtail before, like something like that, and then let's say like the eye, I would definitely keep the eye somewhere, and then last, like a spider, and then like maybe a snake. I think all of that together as a sleeve with touches of red. Again, one day I would love to have a little bit of red in a piece. I think that would be an incredible theme for a sleeve for someone that's lived in such a place as this. I have that deep appreciation for nature, especially natural looking tattoos. This one, have you ever suffered prejudice from tattoos? For having tattoos? This is, of course, something that everyone with tattoos has a different answer, because it also depends on what kind of tattoos you have. It depends on what environment you are in, let's say what industry you work in. I would say for me, I'm a creative, and I've lived in cities such as New York, and in this case Cyprus. I've lived in only places since I got tattoos that are so open-minded about it that I can't really say that I've experienced any prejudice from tattoos. I, of course, have this privilege to be in a place that is so free and open about self-expression and how you dress and tattoos and these things. So I would say I'm very fortunate to have not experienced that. However, I know of people that if they have a head tattoo, neck tattoos, face tattoos, they experience prejudice. And in fact, I had a friend that had tattoos like hands, face, neck, and it was either they experienced complete adoration of the tattoos or the opposite, and it was just extreme glances and staring and questions like, why did you do it, and all this like insensitive unnecessary questions. So that is a thing that I have seen from other people. But again, for me, I'm an artist, freelancer at the moment, and I had jobs that were in fashion when I was in the city in New York, and tattoos weren't even on their mind. They were like, look, you come to work wearing a blazer at 6 a.m. as a visual merchandiser, no complaints about what body art you have. So again, I'm very fortunate. That is my personal experience. I have Mimi questions I'm not going to answer. I have a special question regarding my James tattoo for the special friend that loves this question. Please do, I encourage you to watch my tattoo tour if you have such questions. For goodness sakes. Oh, I love it. Okay. If you guys have any other questions just in general about my art or tattoos, in the future I would like to do a video about my experience with my tattoos. Like, I want to talk about each time that I got each piece, because I have this really amazing shop in Bushwick that had such an experience. Like, I would go in and there was like a movie playing here, there was like black marble music in the background, like 18 plants, and there was like incense everywhere. So you know, if you guys have questions about any of my experiences, pain, aftercare, or shading versus like the outlines, or how many sessions it took, all those kinds of things, feel free to comment below and I will keep track of questions. Also, you can follow me on Instagram, where I post a lot of these Q&A posts a lot, and then you guys can kind of stay updated for when I'm doing another Q&A. So thank you for this garden chat. I actually really enjoyed being outside this time. I hope that you guys got some summeriness out of it. So thank you guys for chatting with me, and I will see you in the next one. Help me.